Now to London, where royal pageantry is on parade for the Trooping of the Colour. It's the annual tradition to mark Queen Elizabeth's birthday. The Queen inspects her household troops and honours members of the public for their service to the nation. The British royal turned 89 in April. Today was also the first time we've seen Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge, since she gave birth to Princess Charlotte earlier last month. And while we didn't get to see the princess, her older brother Prince George did make an appearance, and he seemed to really enjoy the festivities. For more on this long-standing tradition, let's bring in royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams, former editor of International Who's Who, joins us now from London. Thanks so much for joining us.
No, it's a pleasure, because this is the world's most colourful military pageant, in my opinion, to honour the Queen's official birthday.
And of course, there was no sign of Princess Charlotte today, but this is the first time we've seen her mother, the Duchess of Cambridge, since she gave birth, and she was looking remarkably well.
She most certainly was. It's roughly 6 weeks since Princess Charlotte was born, and as I remember it, Kate, the Duchess of Cambridge, appeared in public 5 weeks after Prince George was born. Everyone was saying how well she looked. She really did look so athletic and live, and I thought the same today. She also wore an absolutely splendid white hat, and eyes, I think, of a lot of the world were on Prince George, especially on that scene in the balcony on Buckingham Palace, which is a tradition after the Trooping the Colour ceremony. The extended royal family gather, and there's a fly-past by aircraft from the Royal Air Force. And Prince William was holding Prince George, and he seemed to be enjoying it so much.
He certainly did, looked very happy in his dad's arms. And interestingly, he was wearing the same outfit Prince William wore back in 1984. It's quite incredible.
I think that's an absolutely charming touch. It also shows that members of the royal family can recycle, and recycle, I think, with a certain amount of advantage, because you can imagine that becoming very, very fashionable. It was Prince William's roughly 2 as Prince George's when he attended the trooping, and Prince Harry was 9 months old. Next year, I expect that we may very well see Princess Charlotte. It will be worth remembering that the Queen then will be 90. She will also be, on the 9th of September this year, our longest reigning monarch.
That's true. She is doing incredibly well for her age. And just to explain for us the significance of a day like today, the Trooping of the Colours.
Trooping the Colour, which is a ceremony that has been linked to the birthday of the monarch since 1760 in George III, and probably goes back to the Stuarts. This is, in fact, a ceremony linked to military history. The colour is a symbol of the honour of the regiment, and in battle, where there's confusion and chaos, if you see the colour and you recognise it, you know who your comrades are, and so you can rally to it. So that is a significance of a colour. The particular colour today was trooped by the Welsh Guards. The Queen presented it to them in April. It's consecrated in a religious ceremony. It has battle honours. The regiment, which celebrates 100 years since George V founded it in 1915, has 47, and 21 of them actually on the colour. So it's an event of very considerable significance for the Welsh Guards, which are the junior regiment of the 5 regiments of foot in the Household Division.
And speaking of colours, London was awash in pink when little Princess Charlotte was born. When do you expect we might see her again?
This is something that there's been a lot of speculation about. As you know, we saw the Duchess of Cambridge charming photographs of her and Prince George recently, and I suspect it might be quite some time. As you know, they are based in Admiral Hall. Prince William is an air ambulance pilot, and there's every intention of keeping as much privacy as he possibly can. I think he's emphasized this, and I think it will be perhaps some time before we see anything of Princess Charlotte. We don't know, of course.
She's laying low for now, but a couple of people who aren't laying low, we know that a few of the British royals missed today's ceremony, Prince Edward and Sophie, to attend a royal wedding in Sweden. What can you tell us about that?
Well, this is particularly fascinating because Prince Carl Philip, who is the third in line to the Swedish throne, married Sofia Hellqvist, who was a former topless model. Now, the Swedish monarchy is purely ceremonial. It lost most of its powers in 1974, and the monarch simply opens Parliament and entertains state visitors. But they are rather fond of their monarchy, and there's little doubt that Princess, as she is now, Sophia, I mean, she will be, I suspect, someone who will be very popular. And I say this because the fact that such a marriage has taken place, given her rather colourful past, is an example of how relaxed European monarchies have become. It was only in the 1960s and 70s that Norwegian and Swedish crown princes married commoners. And subsequently, it's rare for one royal to marry another. They're marrying for love, and I think it's all the better for that. Also, it seems to me that Swedish royals do have a certain interest in physicality. I say this because Crown Princess Victoria, who will succeed and become a queen one day, married her personal trailer 5 years ago, Daniel Westling, and the bride today was a former yoga instructor in New York. So the little doubt that something which will be a very attractive spectacle in Sweden, and also a wedding in a 13th century cathedral, which will also lead to a procession through the streets, horse-drawn carriages, and I suspect in the dinner dance afterwards we'll get a heartfelt speech from Prince Carl Philip, because she's brought him out. He was always rather shy, rather retiring, and she is extremely outgoing.
There were certainly beautiful pictures today in Sweden, and a lot of people, as you said, turning out to see this royal couple get married. Do you think there'll be much competition for the magazine covers when you compare this couple to the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge?
I think that's an extraordinarily interesting point, because the Swedish tabloids have been working overtime. As you can imagine, there's quite a lot of footage of the past of Princess Sophia. Mind you, I do think that everything has its place. Monarchy embodies national unity. You've got the pomp and pageantry, which we've seen commemorating the Queen's birthday today. We've also got a couple in Sweden marrying for love, something they couldn't do some decades ago, and you've got monarchies in egalitarian countries who've evolved, and I think that's important. The Swedish monarchy, as I say, is bereft of real constitutional power, but the people like it, and I think that this wedding is rather charming. It shows how much things have relaxed. Remember what they were like only 40 years ago. Remember the marriage of the Prince and Princess of Wales. Since then, a lot of people have learnt a lot.
Good to see a marriage for love, and perhaps possibly another little royal baby soon.
That would be absolutely charming, and that too would be something that, well, the Swedish have had. In fact, Princess Estelle, who's second in line to the throne, the daughter of Crown Princess Victoria, she's 3 years old. It would be lovely if there was, as you say, another soon, because it's something that we can all rejoice about.
That is true. We really appreciate your time today, Richard Fitzwilliams. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
And CNN Newsroom will continue after a very short break. Stay with us.